I'm going to hang a secondary IV piggyback through a pump. We have our medication already mixed and in a bag from pharmacy. I've already spiked this piggyback bag, and I have squeezed to fill the drip chamber. I'm not going to prime the whole tubing though, because when you do that, sometimes you can lose some of the fluid, and you need all of the antibiotic to give to the patient. So instead, I'm going to have the pump prime the tubing. So I'm going to put the pump into reset, which stops the primary infusion. Then I'm going to remove this white cap without touching, keeping that sterile. I've removed the cap from my tubing on my piggyback tubing, also keeping that sterile. I will connect the two together, the lure lock, to connect it to the pump. At this point, I would want to unclamp my tubing. Okay, so I undo the roller clamp, and now I'm going to press some buttons on the pump. It's already in reset, so now it says, in reset, press start or review change. Well, I'm not going to do either of those things. I'm going to do something it doesn't tell me to do, and I'm going to hit reset and enter, and that will back prime, pulling from my primary into my secondary line, clearing the line and clearing up into the secondary. So my line's clear. I've cleared up into the drip chamber. I'm ready to program it at this point. So it says settings complete, press start or review change. We're going to hit review change because we're going to change something. So we'll hit review change. Press yes to change settings, or press review. Yes, we're going to change settings. Change the primary? No, we're going to change secondary, so we're going to hit no. Set secondary, yes or no? Yes. Concurrent delivery. We usually do not want to choose concurrent delivery because that may be too much fluids for the patient, especially someone who's in congestive heart failure. So say your IV piggyback's going at 150 an hour and your primary rate's 150, that's 300 milliliters an hour, and that may be too much. So we'll say no. Secondary rate will be on the IV piggyback bag, and on there it says it's going to run at 150 milliliters an hour. And then press up and down arrows and then press enter. Secondary dose limit is how much is in that bag that needs to be infused. And that will also be on the sticker from pharmacy, and it says there's 55 milliliters. Then press up and down arrows and then press enter. Call back at secondary dose end. If you're going to run the piggyback and you just want it to kick back into your primary IV rate, then hit no. If you need to hang another piggyback right after this, then you would hit yes. So we don't need to hang another piggyback right after this, so we're going to hit no. Deliver secondary overfill. I usually put yes for this. And then it says secondary settings are complete. Press start or review change. If you want to review it to make sure that you had all the settings right, you can hit review change. If not, you can go ahead and push start. And then it says pumping secondary and what rate that's pumping at. Once it's done infusing, it will click right back over to the primary rate without beeping or anything. Another thing you might want to check too is that your secondary bag is what's dripping and your primary is not. That your secondary bag is dripping and that your primary bag is not. And another thing you'd want to do before you would start a piggyback is check the patient's IV site, check for any redness, any infiltration, and also let the patient know if they experience any pain or burning during the antibiotic infusion or any other kind of IV piggyback infusion that they need to let us know.